Hi everyone, this is Tammy from Tammy Colors 2, and you are here for video number 28 in the Time for a Cuppa, a celebration of tea coloring book series where we drink the tea and color in the book. And this week is very exciting because I drink this all the time, Turkish tea. So let's talk about Turkish tea, as I have a traditional Turkish tea glass here. Interestingly enough, Turkey is one of the largest tea consumers in the world, with a total consumption of like 3 kilograms per person per year, which is a lot of tea. It's the most popular drink, and the reason it is so popular is because, like, in the 1900s, coffee became very expensive. Turkish coffee is also very good. I do make that as well. I have an Ibik. I do not speak the language, but I do make Turkish coffee as well. There are many videos on the internet. So it's fabulous, but it became expensive. So the Chinese, a few hundred years earlier, had introduced tea to the Turks, and they had become producing it. They became very good at producing it. And so the king, who was the king? It was the Ottoman Empire. I don't remember. But anyway, it was after the dissolution of the Ottoman Empire. Coffee became very expensive, so they began advertising tea as the drink, and it took off and became very popular, and it is now a real part of Turkish culture in Turkey. I mean, like, just when we go to the Turkish market in Germany, they will walk, you walk up to a stand and they will hand you a cup of tea. I mean, it's just, it's the thing. It's very traditional. It's so interesting that, it doesn't seem like we as Americans do anything like that. But I don't know. I'm probably just not thinking of what it is. So, so they have become very good at tea production. The making of the tea has become a ritual. It is a black tea. There are different types, different kinds, and I think I will put a picture of what I buy here, because the guy at the Turkish restaurant that taught me to make the tea told me he told me where to go, and he told me what to buy. He told me the colors of the bags. And over time, I've just tried different ones. He's like, get the bags, mix them all together. And I mean, I have my metal bowl. I have one of the largest metal bowls that you can buy. It's made for, farms. And it would fill that bowl. And then I had like big jars and stuff I would keep it in. But eventually I stopped mixing it together. And I just drink it, the different types, or I'll mix it on my own. I'll just put a tablespoon here, this. But it could be from the region that they're from, that the people that own the Turkish restaurant that I used to go to, just that's how they made it. It's an ingrained part of Turkish culture. They drink an enormous amount of tea. So I did film making this tea, so I will insert that here, and then we can, I guess while you're watching that, I will find colors for the picture in the book and decide what I want to do. So here you go. All right, so this is generally the paraphernalia you need to make Turkish tea or chai. It's just spelled differently. C-A-Y with a, I can't remember what that's called. This is pronounced chai, believe it or not. I can't remember how that's pronounced. But this is one, I'll put in a link in the description for what I buy, because during the pandemic, I couldn't go out to the stores, so I did buy a package of 4 different teas. So when the man at the Turkish restaurant taught me how to make the tea, he told me what colors of bags to buy of tea, and he told me to put them all in a bowl and mix them together, and then and that's what I used to do, just put all 4 bags, and they're 500-gram bags, which is enormous, and I would put them in this giant bowl and I mix them together, and it would last me, I mean, the 4 bags of tea last us for a year. Actually, I think they last us for over a year. But I stopped mixing them together because I wanted to try the individual types that there are, because they're all different types. Sometimes you can get them, like this is an Earl Grey that I get, and it comes in these little tins, so you can get them in smaller things. But so I mean, it's not really all that expensive. I mean, the tea lasts you forever. I pour them out. I have 4 separate containers that I keep them on the hutch over here, and then I just get whatever flavors. Sometimes I mix them. That way I have a choice. Because it's like it's just black tea, but it's like all black teas are different, right? They have a different flavor. They have a different taste. Black tea isn't just black tea. So, I encourage you to try the different types before you can mix them all together. Ironically, there's one that's called Tourist. It's in a yellow bag. I don't like the Tourist chai very much. It's my least favorite. But anyway, so generally you need your tea. You need a double boiler. These are traditional pots that I bought at a Mediterranean or it was at a Mediterranean store. And I mean, at the time, I've had them since like 2005. So I've had them for a very long time. They don't go bad. I try to take care of my stuff. So you have a bigger pot and a smaller pot, as you can see. This has water in it. I put water in it. You will put water in it, if I can show you. You see the holes for the spout? I usually fill it up to over the first 2 holes and then leave the top hole open. You could also do this with a double boiler, because that's essentially what this is a double boiler. But what I'm going to do is we're going to put this pot on the stove and we're going to heat the water to boiling. Then, I'll get that out of the way. What you do is you take your tea. We'll just use this one. This is the only one that I have a bag left. I just use a tablespoon. So there's the smaller pot. Now you're going to put your tea in this pot. And what the guy at the Turkish restaurant told me was, you see the little lip at the bottom. He's like, you want to put tea in it till that's covered nicely. I find that to be about 4 or 5 tablespoons or coffee scoops or however you do it. This is harder because I don't really have a setup to film in my kitchen, but I'm doing the best I can. Because my husband has to know how to measure he likes to know measurements for everything, so I had to come up with a measurement. A little bit more. I usually use a coffee scoop. So there you can see the bottom. You probably can't see it that well, but the lip is covered. It's not an exact science. You can do however much you want. Then I will show you when I'm going to, hang on. All right, sorry. I forgot that I usually walk over to the sink, but I'm not going to carry so I'm going to fill this with water. And you'll see it. I fill it to about 1/2 inch of the top. I give it a stir to get the leaves wet. Yep, and it does tea leaves that are put into cold water tend to want to float on top of the water. So sometimes it's a challenge to get it all in here, to stay in here. There we go. So that's all stirred up. It's just tea leaves and water. And then I will go put the water on the stove to boil, and then I will show you what's after that. We'll go over to the stove. These are traditional Turkish chai glasses. You pick them up by the rim. It does work. Some have handles. I mean, I've been places where they do have little handles on them. Traditionally, I see them without, but it works either way. So let me get this water boiling and then I will be back. Okay, so as you can see, trying not to cover the speaker up with my hand, the water is boiling. I actually like to have it needs to be very gently boiling. And as you can see much better here, the water is just below the top hole because I need something for the steam to escape. It might spit out anyway. It's kind of picky. They're always very picky, but I need it to be very gently boiling, so I put it down on 3 or somewhere between 3 and 2. 2 is too low on my stove, 3 is too high, and I just have to kind of ease it down. All right, so we're gonna try to switch hands here. And as you can see, I have my, oops, let me just go over here. I have my tea in here. I'll put the lid on. So I'm going to set it on top. I'm actually going to turn this around so that if it spits out on my counter. And then it will sit like that. I'll probably stir the tea leaves. I stir it a couple times because the hot water here, the boiling water here, will heat this. It needs to steep for 20 minutes. The guy at the Turkish restaurant told me at least 20 minutes, no less. And he's right. So if you try to brew this like normal tea, and brew it with just boiling water and 5 minutes, it tastes completely different. I didn't like it at all. It was very weird. But I suppose if you didn't know what it was supposed to taste like, you might not notice, but it isn't, I don't know. Unless you do it like this, the tea does not seem to come out correctly. Like I said, you could do this with a double boiler. You know, you just need to, you know, figure out how much water and how much tea to use because the pots are bigger unless you have a really small one. But so now I'm going to let this steep for 20 minutes and then we will come back and I will show you what I do next. All right, so it has steeped and I brought it back over here because I think this is easier. So you can see that we have, you know, steeped tea. You can see the steam coming off if I put it in front of the black cabinet. And then in here, you can see that the water is down a little bit. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna move that off to the side. I'm gonna take these, I'm going to basically strain this into here. Now, over time, I have a process for doing that because, I don't know, maybe I put too much water in here, I don't know. So I'm gonna take out some of the tea leaves, just because, like I said, over time, I found this is the easiest or the best way to do it for me in my setup. So I'm taking out some tea leaves just to kind of remove like the bulk of them because they plug up the spout a little bit. So I take them out and I put that there. And I have a little, it's supposed to be a little spoon. I've broken off the end because I found that if I can just poke the leaves back down in there, that's all it takes. And it will come out and not be all gobbed up in the spout and just go, you know, I don't know if I can explain it. I'm not going to do it. Make it do that to show you because I don't like it when it does that. All right, so we'll put it over here. And then basically we're going to hopefully pour the, oh, let me do it this way so that you can see it. You're pouring the steeped tea, the concentrated tea, into the tea in the bottom. And straining the leaves out. Now, you don't have to strain the leaves out. You can leave them in there. It doesn't hurt anything. You could just strain it out and whatever you could just pour it in here and whatever falls in. You can strain it in your cup. You can kind of do it however you want to. He didn't specify. He never told me to take the leaves out, but it would be a lot. I mean, there's a lot of... I'm sure they do because whenever you get the tea in the Turkish restaurant, it doesn't have leaves in it. So it's always very clear. So now you can see in the dark pot, we have nothing, but there's still quite a bit of tea leaves in there. And I just get as much out as I can. We can put the detritus in the sink. And I don't need that anymore. So then we just, let me get my lid. So you can see we have tea. So now, we'll move that over here. We will put one of our cups here. And I will try to do this left-handed so you can see. And I'm shaking the camera, I'm sorry. This is my, this table was actually my great-grandmother's pastry table. It has a marble top. And here is the tea. And that is how you make Turkish chai. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. It's just how I make it, how the Turkish restaurant guy taught me how to make it. So while you were watching that, I took the opportunity to find some colors. I kind of have an inspiration picture, which is this. You can see it. It's a, you know, things that you usually see at a Turkish restaurant. The colors are very similar. My teapot has blue flowers on it, so I was going with that. As you will see, in here I have some Prismacolor pencils because I want to do the pots in silver like mine. So we'll have the colored designs, but we'll do the pots, the pot part in silver. So we will do that. And if you want to know where I learned to color metal, there's a couple different places, Coloring with Claire, and Coloring with Miss Martley, which I can link the video below. I have a book that I wrote down all my color combinations. Okay. So silver, according to Miss Martley, is those colors, and she shows you how to do it. It's basically outside darkest, and then you gradually go in lighter. You just figure out where you want your white spot to be or your light spot, which is cool. I might do a base of 10% cool gray. We can do the pots first, if you want. Today's video, I think, is going to be longer. I just figure people might want to see that. hopefully I just like to have a base of color. I thought about doing the base in marker, which I could do if I had a really light cool gray. What's my lightest cool gray? Let's do it that way. Let's try something different. I know I have to have a really, really light one. Got too many grays. CG 08. I don't have a really light one in the Artesas. And I'd have to go digging. So I'm sure this will be fine. We'll just go around all the flowers. And I will have to decide what I want it to look like. So we've just jumped right into this one. I don't do pencil on Artesa paper. Well, I do. I just haven't used my Prismacolors on Artesa paper for a while. Just kind of putting, because whenever I do dark colors and I do them first, I get a line, and it has to be something with the way that I color. But if I put a base of the lightest color on and then do it, it's easier for me to blend out. So it's not that hard to color metal, actually, because you want to leave white to shine, and in the light it's actually not that much coloring. You just have to figure out what parts are dark and what parts are light. And whether I want to do that, I mean, I might make that a color. I might make that fun. Okay. I know people probably wonder, like, you know, it's not that hot. I mean, you grab it by the rim and drink it that way, but I find it never really gets too hot for me. All right, so the next lightest color would be the 20% cool gray. No, she does the dark one first. And she does it like this. She does darker. Of course, she's also doing it on a little bucket. We're going to put some here because that's shadowy. So how is everyone doing this week? I know it was a busy week for me. Anyway, I think it's gonna have to be the front of mine that's what's the word I'm looking for? Shining, because that's what I see here. I never said I was good at coloring metal, but I just find that I like it better sometimes when I use pencil rather than metallic paint, because the effects are not the same. So let's see, this week in the tea realm, well, I got my monthly hour. We got our monthly subscription to Tea Runner. And if I was smart, I would have told you everything that was in it, because now I can't remember. But let's see, did I get it all? Oh, let's see. I need my next darkest color, which should be the 50%. Cool gray, 50%. And I'm gonna make a little shadow there. See how it's starting to look like metal already as you blend over the colors. It actually is just really easy with pencils. I was watching somebody do it with markers because I was like, oh, I wonder if I could do that with markers. I think it's harder and you see the lines a little more, but the trick is to hide the lines to make them look like the picture. But it's just a little color here, a little color there. And we will have this done in a jiffy. Needed to get this video made because I'm trying to stop looking on Amazon for big day deals or whatever. I've already bought too much stuff. I'm poor because we had our deck done. So there was $2,000. You know, just so that's all I can have done. I don't make limitless amounts of money. I have to save money and get things done and then figure out what I want to do next. But we had the deck done kind of by, not by accident. We just realized how much work it was going to be. So we got somebody and then we ended up doing it. And it's like, well, I wasn't expecting that. I guess that's why I saved my money to use for this stuff. But it's like so, so, I don't know. It's not really a letdown. It's just like when you use it for adulting, when you use the money for adulting, it's not the same as using it for fun stuff, you know? Not that getting your deck done isn't fun. I mean, it's nice because then you can sit on it, you can enjoy it. I need to go through and find all the equivalent colors. I mean, really, to do metal, all you need is dark, lighter, and lighter. I'm going to kind of, and like I said, you have to decide where the light is. So I'm going to bring it over here. Kind of make it up here like it's shining, but then it wouldn't shine on the flower because the flower is a matte paint, right? So once you get the first layer down, it's really quite easy. So yeah, I'm like, well, I'm poor now. But I bought stuff on big day, big deal, whatever. Even though I was messaging Michelle from Kits and Caboodles, and I'm like, you know, what really kind of cheeses me off is that some places, you know, it's like it's supposed to be like a big deal, like today you're gonna get a better sale than any other time, and on some things, yes. But on some things that you want, maybe they're just the same sales that they have all the time. If you watch, then you know who I'm talking about. The companies, at least for art supplies. I did buy some I bought some Halloween decorations. Oh, sorry. If you hear the siren, every week at noon, so I guess you know what time it is, every Wednesday at noon, they test our tornado sirens here. So you always know when it's Wednesday at noon because the tornado sirens go off. I said, well, if we ever have a tornado at noon on a Wednesday, we're all screwed. Right? I think with Amazon paper, I always have to use like a blender pencil because I don't know if it's just that I don't have the patience or what. I keep wanting to turn the book. So we're not under an air. It reminds me of an air raid siren from when you watch the old war movies, you know. That's what it sounds like to me. So I'm just blending in with the lightest color. So that looks kind of vaguely metal. Use a blender to blend these together. I still get lines when I'm gonna use my Prisma as I drop it. Let's see if we can get this blended out. If I had limitless space, I'd probably just keep using my pencil, but I guess I'm just not experienced enough to use to keep blending in the same space. And maybe it's not, I'm sure it has something to do with patience, which I generally have none when it comes to certain things. I might blend it out a little better later. You know, I always go in and keep fiddling with stuff. Like I need to put in some I have to learn how to leave like really white space. But if I put in like some white gel pen later, and I make the lines darker, I'm sure it'll be great. But there you go. That's my metal pot. I mean, you can futz around with it as long as you want. It depends on how much work you want to put into it. All right, so now let's see. We are going to do some green leaf because green leaves are green. If you like Harry Chapin. I'm going to sing that song because that song is going to be stuck in my head. Flowers are red, green leaves are green. Anyway. leaves. Yay, I've got some darker center leaves. As you can see, I'm using my Arteza Everblends today. Oh my gosh. So like only 2 more tea videos. Oh, and I was going to tell you, so my tea runner came because I was out of white tea. Or I was out of white peony, sorry. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, I don't want to buy any more tea. And I'm still going to have to buy yerba mate because I've never had it. So I do have to get that one. Why don't I just put this in here? All right, so got that. What do I want to do with that? Oh, I can't decide. Ugh, I hate deciding on this. Let's see. So it would be. Oh, I did it wrong. If I did it like. I don't know if I can fix that. If I did it like my example picture, the dark color is on the outside. I mean, I can make it lighter. I might be able to get it. I'm trying not to put too much blue in the green. Let's see. And then the blue. Hopefully this will look good when I'm done. Oh, shoot. Let me see. Will that look terrible, or should I try to get some of it off? This is what I do. I end up. All right, so the bottom part, I purposefully did not have a lot of colors this time because I wanted to force myself to do things a certain way. Okay, so I wanted to force myself. We're gonna make a call here. Because if I only allow myself a certain number of colors, then I won't be like, oh, I have to make that a different color. I'm so excited because some of my Amazon big deal day stuff will be here today, and I get to play around with it. So excited. Let's see. All right, dark. Dark or light. Why don't we make the flower dark, and we'll make this part light, and we'll see how that goes. I wonder if I could use, no, I don't want to go through. I was like, could I use Neocolor? I could. I don't know if I want to go around all these, excuse me, flowers and designs and stuff. That's the problem I have the most with backgrounds is trying to figure out how to get around everything. So how do you get around everything? I know that some people use, like I just watched a video on Shell's coloring journey, how she does backgrounds, and she uses oh, what's it called? The gum, the stuff you put over top to cover it. It's like a gum, and then you just peel it off because it covers up the parts that you don't want stuff on. That looks kind of cool. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. What do you think? I'll have to get my gel pens out, or or my ink or whatever. I have to decide what color I want. So I'll just make the bottom part. Oh, I gotta come up. I need a color for the tea. You know, I should do that while I have tea here. So we'll just, because, you know, I'll have to color the glass and everything. So do I have anything? No, we're gonna put it on. Oh, I don't have a white piece of paper. Hang on. I do in here. All right. So here's my tea. I can see what color it is. You know, I always try to make it the same color as the tea. So we're going to look at our browns. It's going to be an orangey brown. Like, or I mean a reddish brown. I think maybe, I don't know that I have anything that's exact. Maybe I should look at it from up there. Like, definitely, I think maybe 20 and 26 are going to be close enough for jazz. So BR 20 and 26. All right, those will be my tea colors. Done. Okay. Let's see, we could do, oh yeah, I'm gonna follow the, so here's what I'm gonna do. If those are dark blue, then I can make parts of this light blue. Okay. Coming up with a plan. I don't know how far I should go. This video is like gonna be really long anyway. So has anybody had Turkish tea before? I kind of feel like if you haven't been to Turkey and which I have not, and you don't live near a big city that might have things like that, I feel like you probably wouldn't have had it, right? So I can follow it in light green, and then if I want to make part of it dark green, then I can do that. Because you can always put dark over light, but not the other way around. So we're gonna say this is green. So I'm trying to follow the vine around. Then we've got leaves, which we may make a darker green in the end. Should I make that? Maybe I'll just make that dark green. This will be pretty. Hang on, just let me do it right now. I know it's kind of the opposite of what you would normally see. Like normally the light green would be on the outside and the dark green would be in the middle, but art police have not arrested me yet. And I would probably be in jail if they could, if they arrested people. So then we'll just see what we're left with once we do all the vines. So that means this is going to be dark green. And then I'll decide on a color for what's left. Let's see if I can. I'll probably, I say this and then I run out of time, but shade some with colored pencil when I'm doing, because why not? I missed the dark green here. All right, so there's that. I think I pretty much used all my colors. See, I have to decide what color to make this. And then the flowers down towards the bottom, these. Which I have some ideas, but I think it's going to be pretty simple and pretty. But let me go finish this and I'll be back. All right, so it's done, and this is what it looks like. So I'm pretty pleased with it. I was playing around with my white, it's wet. I used my glass pen with ink, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I just figured I had to try. So, but hopefully I made some light spots. I just am not good with white. I see people do it and it's hard, but I'll get there. So yeah, limited color palette, which is always a struggle for me. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. So that's Turkish tea. Next week we have white peony, which is a really good tea. One of my favorite whites of all time. And then, oof, only 2 more left, 2 weeks. So, you know, I guess I have a question if you're watching. Like, do I keep it named The Time for a Cuppa series, or do I call it like Tea with Tammy, Color and Chat, or something like that? I mean, that might work too, because, you know, if we're not doing anything in this book, I kind of am hesitant to call it Time for a Cuppa because we're not, you know, doing anything in this book. But anyway, I'll throw that out there, and I hope to see you next week. We are so close. I mean, it's hard to believe in 2 weeks I will have a finished book. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. But anyway, thanks for joining me. I hope you all have a lovely week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.